Hello everybody, this is Messenger. I run the ASL. Game Out Loud appears to be having some trouble with their VODs right now. I'm not quite sure. I know they're working on it. Kenny's has most of the VODs completed, but they haven't been uploaded yet by the developer. I was watching one of the, which is strange, I was watching one of the VODs earlier on their website, but it looks like it's down. Maybe it can't handle a lot of traffic or something. I don't actually have a clue what's wrong. I haven't spoken to Kenny yet. Normally I speak to Kenny through an intermediary, Magnum, and Magnum takes care of that. But I'm going to be doing the casting because there's a lot of people wanting to see the Idra versus PJ game. I don't blame them. I actually sat in game. Idra, of course, being Terran in the 9 o'clock position over here, and PJ being in the 4 o'clock position over here. The map is revealing the entire map, Heartbreak Ridge. It's a interesting map. I think it favors Protoss personally, even though there's a lot of ridges. It's just such an open map, a lot like a Python, except they have these ridges, but it favors mobility almost. And Protoss is generally considered more mobile. And so, what's great about these players are they're so practiced. While I was watching this game live, sitting in game, you could just see how much practice they put in. This pylon right here, for instance, it's beautifully placed. I mean, you'll see it in a moment when he places down his gateways and Nexus, and how this is so just carefully practiced. What separates the truly excellent players from just the good players are lots and lots and lots of practice. Or, it's possible PJ just saw some other professional gamers in the Korean leagues do it and just simply copied them. Still, it's coming from a very practiced place. I like this is a fairly a common build for layout for Idra. I've seen this in a lot of his other replays. He perfectly places the depot and then places this. This is obviously, if there's a zealot that eventually comes in or whatever, he can just kind of scoot his marines back and forth in between the buildings, and if he's standing here with his marines, the zealots can't get to it. It's kind of a interesting placement. A lot of other Terrans, of course, they find out clever ways to block. You can't really block that well on this well, I don't know, but it looks kind of awkward to place down buildings. And here we go. So it looks like Idra just found, there's only one other spot, but he's scouting out his opponent. Now here, this is the interesting placement I was talking about. Let's say, Idra tries to run vultures by or whatever. If the zealot pops out of this building, for instance, he just has to move over like a little bit just to completely block off his main base from some sort of flanking attack if his main force is out of his base. And so, alright, so, PJ is obviously on the other side of the map, and so it's a different build he's doing, a little bit more expressive. And I already knew this was coming, but it's still amusing. Obviously, Idra saw that PJ put down the Nexus after this gateway and not the cyber core first, so he went ahead and Idra's going to go ahead and take advantage of this. And so we see not exactly an all-in, because there's still a good amount of workers over here, enough to support his offensive, to continue to make units and pump out offensive units and support what's going on over here. And so PJ is, if I were the Protoss, I'm mainly a Protoss player, by the way. If I were the Protoss, I'd be freaking out right now, because it's kind of like, oh shit, this if I fuck up here, then it's all over. And so PJ is trying his best right now just to stay alive. And this is one of those practice things that I was talking about. Idra, of course, is very practiced because he is a pro gamer. And if you look at this right here, this bunker is placed just beautifully, just to attack, to reach all of these buildings right here. And this, players like Idra, they come into the game knowing to a fairly certain degree what they're going to do. It's not some sort of ad lib thing where they're going to create the strategy on the fly. This has probably been practiced over and over, perhaps not for the ASL, but just on this map alone. I'm sure Idra has to perfect strategies like this, like a pseudo all-in, and we see PJ's in quite a bit of trouble right now. Idra needs to be a little careful with his SCVs, and he's paying attention, so that's good. He lost one, but overall it's pretty good. And so this is excellent placement again by the bunker. The vultures right here is forcing PJ to retreat his workers, and it's a very uncomfortable position for PJ right now. We see that Idra's solely focusing on his push right now. He just created enough, left behind enough workers to support this offensive, and he's not making any more workers because remember he's devoting his resources to continuously making vultures and marines, and so critical buildings are going down, and so this is very very bad for PJ. He's timed it so that he's actually going to lose his cyber core. That's also very very bad, of course, and. Once range finish, you can see right now PJ is just using that to his advantage. He's scooting the goons far enough away so that the bunkers can't reach it. Simultaneously, that's probably not a good thing because since the bunker's not focusing on the dragoons, it's focusing on the buildings. And we see right now that PJ's about to lose his nexus, so he scoots in his goons after he realizes this. And so, Idra's desperately trying to take down this nexus right now. He just took down, he's taking down. And this is the excellent part. This is what he's paying attention. This is pro gamer right here. He focused his Marines on taking out this nexus right now, and so he sets PJ back. And so right now it's fairly difficult to tell who's ahead and who's behind. You see this worker saturation right here. You see the amount of forces PJ has. You see the amount of forces Idra has. And then you look at the worker saturation. It's fair. In my opinion, it looks like PJ is actually ahead, even though Idra took out this nexus. PJ is actually ahead if you just look at the amount of forces, the amount of worker saturation. So even though that was a good try by Idra, that actually might have hurt him more in regards to the long game, because this map is such a very very big map. It's just not very conducive for Terran's winning. I might actually, for the next ASL, do something about that. Maybe put in more Terran-favored maps. What I like about this whole concept is this entire ASL process has been actually quite fun for me. There's a lot of organizing. It's not just me, but other people contribute, like Magnum and Brendan for the graphic work. Lots of other people. But personally for me, I found this quite rewarding. It's just very fun to do something like this. Especially just to sit in by myself, just to watch this game. I thought it would actually be laggy. There's a lot of people online that mentioned that the Chinese players lagged. I've actually sat in a lot of the Chinese games. I'm based in Texas. I have a fiber optics connection, so it's fairly fast. I'm not quite sure of the criticisms in regards to lag, because I haven't actually noticed this. A lot of people out there have mentioned this, so obviously if the majority wins, but I'm beginning to wonder whether it's actually a valid or true criticism, because personally it wasn't laggy at all. And even when I've left games where people thought perhaps I was contributing to the lag, or because the Chinese was lagging, it turns out it still lags once in a while, but like very rarely it's as good a connection as perhaps comparing it to like Europeans playing against North Americans, for instance. The lag is comparable. It's not worse, I would say. I almost think it's because the Chinese players are generally considered better, and that's where a lot of the people complain about Chinese players, and they use the excuse of lag. But I don't know, or maybe there's a few high-profile instances where a Chinese player played against someone and it was webcasted live or something, and perhaps those high those particular instances, like just